Let's move on to another one of our specials. These plates, what can they be used for?
Okay, so we described how the orgone composite works. Basically, there's a field around the actual composite. When you have a flat plate like this, imagine this field just going up like this. And it's just a nice soft field. And what these plates are good for is preserving foods like fruits, vegetables, drinks. It can structure water. When you rest a liquid on it, it structures that liquid over time. Also, because of that preservation field that we're talking about that was discovered by the late Dr. Wilhelm Reich when he was doing his accumulator experiments, you can take one of these plates, you can put it inside your refrigerator or your refrigerator and freezer, and then anything that's in that fridge and freezer lasts longer. Now what's interesting about this, because this is a technology, there are quite a few people online now that have made their own orgone plates and have done the same experiment. They're person, they've done a 30-day test. They did it for a cherry tomato, they've done it for a lemon. And what they found is that over the course of 30 days, the one that's resting on one of these plates lasts longer. It doesn't decay, doesn't fall and collapse into just mold and slime, versus the one that was on the control plate with not one of these. And you know, there's a side-by-side comparison over 30 days. And when you look at one of these experiments that all kinds of people are replicating all over the world, it's very clear that there's something about this field that has a preservation effect.
Yeah, absolutely. And what else can you use them for? Structuring water. We need to talk about structured water and why it's so good for you.
Okay.
And how these plates can also structure your water.
Okay.
So in addition to preserving your food, they help with water. So what is structured water?
Okay, so structured water is this is water that is able to store energy within the bonds, within its molecular bonds. And when it does that, it also has a different bond angle between the oxygen and the hydrogen, because it's storing extra energy. Now, in order to make or produce structured water, you have to do something to the water normally. A lot of this science has been well established by all kinds of research scientists over the past decade or so. There's one that comes to mind by the name of Dr. Polak. He's created a book that's been out for a few years now called The Fourth Phase of Water. And his research he goes deep into water, structured water, how you can make it. But basically, it's the kind of water that comes off like from the Alps or from the mountains, where
it
after
goes
rainfall,
through a long natural process.
A natural process of
Right.
after rainfall or snow melt, the water comes downstream. It churns.
It goes through the mountain. It goes through all the different minerals and rocks inside the mountain. So it's creating a vortex.
It's creating a vortex as it's
changes
rolling
the
downhill.
structure of the water.
During that process, it's as if water has a memory. The water, it changes at the molecular level through the process of churning and spinning and so people have made spinning machines to do the same thing with water to create structured water. Well, Orgone technology also creates structured water. Now, if you have a drink that you just poured and have it rest on one of these plates for at least 5 minutes, then the effect starts where that drink will start to absorb some of the energy that's coming off of this plate. But if you really want to create good structured water, you can do something called what we call the ice test. You take a distilled water or remineralized distilled water, you put it inside the freezer with one of these plates underneath, and as the water freezes, the molecular bonds of the water freezes in the pattern of the energy field that is coming off of this plate. It sounds amazing, but when you do this test, you might want to do control first with no plate, with just a plain jar of distilled water in the freezer. Take it out, observe how that ice looks, as we're all used to seeing frozen ice in a jar. Then do the same thing with one of these plates, and you'll get a star, or something that looks like a snowball or a column of like a tornado going up, where it's basically stretched water bubbles inside the ice.
Beautiful formations.
And this is, again, another replicable test that everyone is called the Orgone ice test. You can look it up online. It's amazing. It's what we can use. We can use it to structure water. You thaw out that large tub of ice that's been sitting on this plate, and you can get the best structured water or best tasting water you've ever had.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
So we're gonna actually, let's go to a clip because we did some filming as well, showing how you can use the plates with your produce and in your fridge, and also to structure your water.
I'm going to show you how we use Orgonite in the kitchen. So what you see here are two of our bronze charge plates. And we're just going to show you some of the uses for these charge plates. We use them to keep things fresh, things structured, like structured water. And we make our structured water by using our distiller to make us a thing of distilled water. So when we want to structure our drinks, what we do is we take some of our distilled water and we put it on our charge plates, and the structuring process only takes a couple of minutes, at least for small drinks. And the next thing you know, it passively basically structures the water molecules. You don't see anything, but the field that's coming off of these plates is structuring everything above it. So this water becomes structured in about 5 minutes or so. Now, we make a lot of distilled water and we store it in these jugs here. So the way we structure our water with our containers of distilled water is after we've mineralized our distilled water, we set it on our charge plate and we leave it for 24 hours at a time. And now after 24 hours, after this field has been going through this container with the water, we just take it off and we just use it and we put another container on. This water is now structured and you can enjoy the health benefits of structured water. Now also, when we get our fruit and vegetables from the local shop, all of it's organic, we set the bowls on plates as well and we just leave it there. And what you'll find is that the fruits and vegetables that you have resting on plates tend to decay much longer, at a much longer rate than if you didn't have the charge plates. We've done the experiments ourselves. Others have replicated this experiment that you can find online with various vegetables, with cherry tomatoes sitting on charge plates versus cherry tomatoes not on charge plates. And you preserve your fruits and vegetables much longer this way and you save yourself a lot of money. So for your wine connoisseurs, an idea here is to take using the charge plate as a means of storing the wine near it or on it in your wine cellar. By having a charge plate in your collection, you basically preserve your wine in a much healthier way. You allow the fermentation process and so forth to work for you by using this technology. By having the Orgonite charge plate in your wine cellar, not only is it helping you preserve your wine better, but it's also improving and preserving the taste that you work so hard to achieve in your collection. But let me show you the best way to use Orgonite in the kitchen, and that's in the fridge. By putting this plate inside the fridge, what you've just done is increase the shelf life of all your products within your fridge. The Shungite mineral, the powder form of it, we have it in all of our products. The reason why is because during our research in making our Orgone devices, we found that the Shungite mineral is widely used in the industry for all kinds of purposes. Shungite is a mineral that is not found, wasn't naturally from this planet, but was actually from some theorize from a fallen asteroid. And is found in one place in the world, a deposit of it in Karelia, Russia. And this Shungite mineral, what's special about it, it contains a natural form of carbon fullerenes. And these carbon fullerenes that is in Shungite have special properties. But Shungite in itself is about like 98-99% carbon. And so it's a very pure carbon mineral. Now, the Russians have been using shungite, or that area has been using shungite for centuries, but in the past century or so, Russians were using it for water filtering, for contaminated water, for radiation remediation. They were using this mineral because of its special properties.
Fullerenes.
Yeah, the fullerenes and just the structure of these fullerenes naturally occurring. And these fullerenes are different from the carbon-60 molecules that are being made in the labs today. Because of those special properties, yes, it has this ability to remove contaminants from the environment. But that also includes the ability to change incoming harmful effects of stray electromagnetic fields. It changes the spin of these fields. And this has been researched by a lot of research scientists from Russia, and they put some documentation that's made available, talking about shungite's ability to change incoming radiation fields at the quantum level. In fact, in Russia and in Northern Europe, there are these relaxation rooms. They're literally called shungite rooms, where the whole room is laden with shungite paneling, and so that if you're coming from the city, if you just feel edgy or stressed from a hard day's work, you can go into these rooms and you just feel calm, relaxed. You just want to fall asleep. What it's doing is any stray fields, harmful fields from the environment are transformed when they go through that room into more compatible energy, and so that's why we use shungite, this shungite mineral, in all of our products because of those special properties. And again,
if they're using it in spa rooms, just think about what it could do if you have it in your home.
Yes.
It can transform the energy, literally the energy in your home, into these healthy energy waves.
Yes.
Right? So, that's just really important. We wanted to show you the scientific effects. Again, if you look up shungite and fullerenes, you'll find a lot of information about it and studies on this. It's like a miracle mineral.
It is amazing.
Orgone energy is that's the term that was discovered by the late Dr. Wilhelm Reich back in the 1930s, 1940s, and it is basically the energy that is in life in general, in all living things.
And you could see it too, right?
See
if
it.
you put it under a microscope, you could see a blue, like it's almost like an aura, it's a field, an energy field that's visible around a blood cell.
Yes, that's right.
It's a blue color.
So it's like the vital force. It can be observed, and it's the thing that allows and invigorates, keeps things more invigorated and gives it energy, like more life energy. So the technology has moved on since Reich, and the Orgone products that you see out there are literally an improvement on what Reich was working on through the scientific method.
We've gotten such great feedback from our customers where they'll say, it's been such a pleasure buying from you and doing business with you. That when you buy one of these, you're buying it from our family, and we make these by hand, and it's a labor of love for us, and we really enjoy sharing this with the world.